Hi, is anybody there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not seeing pictures yet. Are you?
We're going to take a pause break here, and we're top of the hour, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock out in the Mountain West. Why do we mention the Mountain West? Because that's where the
1, 2, 3, 4,
universe
5,
will
6,
be
7,
focused.
8.
Arizona about to release potentially hundreds of thousands of ballots tonight, and the first batch will come in moments we expect will be here much more now. We continue our live coverage of Vision 2020 right here on NBC.
Hi, Richard.
Yeah, probably. I don't look so good in bed, so I mean, I'm at the rehab
Okay.
center.
So how are you doing?
Okay, I'll get rid of it.
If you have rheumatoid disease and you can't get any shots because you can't shut your eye, or itchy eyes and itching eyes, it might be time to discover another treatment option for thyroid eye disease, also known as TED. To learn more, visit treated.com. That's treated.com. Alex, NBC LX. News from the world is full of stories. There's a lot going on. Let's change today. We live in some very uncertain times.
Hey, Barry, you there?
Yeah.
Richard Adams.
Hi.
No, but I wish I was.
Are you seeing boxes on the screen with people?
Dude, all I've got is a phone. I don't have a camera on this computer, and I refuse to install the software. My computer has HIPAA and Privacy Act information on it, and the Chicoms don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Wait for a new batch of numbers from Arizona. We want to show you where things stand right now. Pennsylvania, obviously, looming large here. Too early to call.
What's that noise in the background?
Oh, Richard Niederberg, you probably should mute.
Yes, like he's listening to watching the TV or something.
He is.
Actually,
yeah, no.
I'm a rehab center.
I was wondering if you don't mind me asking, A, what'd you do to yourself, and B, how's recovery coming?
My left foot and my right leg are really screwed up. I don't know how many more days I'm going to be here, but I'm here and it's not fun.
Trust me, I went for physical therapy today. I feel your pain, literally.
Okay, well, let's see if we can get something done. I don't know.
You know, *6 to mute. Thank God they remind us of that at the beginning, because I never remember one meeting.
Yeah.
These two states, this is effectively over and by and large. That doesn't mean that Donald Trump can't catch up. He can swing things if he can find the voters, find the votes. Some of the times, Maricopa County at this point really favoring Joe Biden. That's the biggest county in Arizona, and right now it looks like it's really heavily forced Joe Biden.
I'll wait maybe till like 6:04, but we do have a quorum.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's been built in already, so it's not something that you do just
Totally.
from there.
And it's just important because I think people want to it's going to take time because the state legislature and they can get more ballots in according to that ruling that you're referring to.
That's correct. Something else has happened. The Trump campaign has filed 3 lawsuits.
Yes, 3 lawsuits, exactly. Okay, so there's 3 lawsuits. The latest one they filed was in Georgia. That was this afternoon, right around the same time that the gap was closing. So we saw the gap closing in Georgia.
For anyone just joining us, we'll probably start in 2 more minutes.
The some Band-Aids. And the Republicans are trying to get the traffic stop there. It's not clear if that will work. There's also other lawsuits filed in Michigan and Pennsylvania. We'll see how that all plays out. But right now,
Hey, Barry,
Yeah.
I appreciate he has no control over the background noise, but we really need to ask him to mute as long, unless he's
I think
actually
I
talking.
can too.
Okay, because I don't need to hear any of this political bullshit. It's not good for my blood pressure.
Okay, it's muted now.
Thank you kindly.
You have good hearing because I couldn't even tell what he was saying.
That's strange because my hearing isn't that good. Thank you, Uncle Sam. But it could be you're on a laptop and I'm not. I got a phone
Yeah.
pressed in my ear.
Barry,
Yeah.
can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank
'Cause
you.
can I just go off or somehow check I didn't check my, I can
Yeah,
hardly
you
hear
can-
you guys.
You can
So-
be muted. You probably need to turn up your volume maybe.
Yeah, that's what
And just like that, he went away.
Okay. I am, however, going to, if everyone will unmute for a minute so we can do roll call. So I'll call the meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. Meeting of the Government Affairs Committee, Wednesday, November 4th, 2020 at 6. And I'll do roll call. Jeff Carter,
here.
Rick Rosner, not yet. Barry Johnson, I'm here. Richard Adams,
Yo,
Susan Hammer, I saw Susan. We'll come back. Richard Niederberg,
well, we know he's here. He's just muted.
yeah, Richard.
You may have to unmute him. I'm not sure he knows star
Yeah,
6 to do
we have
that.
him
Yes,
now.
I'm here.
Hi, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Susan Hammer, you're here.
Today, the county is poised to make history with an all-women
Oh,
government.
Susan, can you unmute?
Aims her strong lead for the second district against city councilman.
I think Susan's frozen.
Yeah, and I can't hear anything besides the background noise from Richard N.
I'm muting him. Okay, we'll come back to Susan. We do have 4 with a quorum, and Lois Weinsapp is excused. So we have 4 of 7, and we'll see if anyone else joins us. Approval of October 7th, 2020 meeting minutes.
Second.
Thank you. And without objection, can we approve those?
No
Hearing-
objection.
Hearing no objections, they are approved. All right, I'm going on to number 4, public comments and possible clarification on non-agenda items within the committee's jurisdiction. And I just want to remind tonight, anybody making a public comment, I have been reminded by at least a couple committee members that the presidential election of last night is not within our committee's jurisdiction, so keep that in mind. And do we have any public comments? Okay.
Thank you for that, Pip.
Mandel?
But what about the update?
What about what update? Oh,
Yeah, you went over item 3, update by committee chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
keeping us focused.
Yeah. No, thank you. We'll do that first. And then we'll get to you, Scott. At our last meeting, we had 5 motions. The 4 motions having to do with corruption in our city council by several different members and federal investigations. Those 4 motions all passed. Our last motion that was for reinstating parking requirements for our restaurants once they are out of the Alfresco program did not pass. However, I can say that at the Studio City Residents Association meeting, when Paul Krikorian was speaking, he was asked about this and said he was going to follow it because he understood the needs of residential people being able to park in their neighborhoods adjacent to where these parking lots are no longer being used. And that was actually voted on in City Council today to go to the city attorney to draft something for continuing alfresco dining. So it will be back before us once they draft something from the city attorney. So nothing's happened yet. So we'll keep following that. And that's pretty much number 3, my update. So we'll go to number 4, public comments. And we have Scott Mandel, and you are unmuted.
Hi, everybody. Scott Mandel here. I would like to know if Government Affairs might be interested in considering a motion with regards to the ban on gas-powered leaf blowers. I've spoken to a few prosecutors in the city attorney's office and also Krikorian, and they say there needs to be a change in the law from gas-powered to something maybe combustion or electric battery or something along those lines. If you guys would take care of the legal verbiage, then I would work with either sustainability or public safety on the general topic of gas leaf blowers. One more point regarding your support of Krikorian's second with transparency for communications between developers and city officials, councilmen, for on going forward basis. What about Krikorian being asked, whether officially or not, to bring us up to date in the spirit of his motion that he seconded, of any of those types of communications regarding Harvard Westlake and Sportsman's? Those are the 2 largest projects in recent Studio City history. So it would be nice, I think, to get him to at least comply with the spirit of that motion and bring us all up to date. Lastly, your chair, who's excused, is active on social media. I've had interactions with her. Why she's not here tonight, I'm not sure. Anyway, good evening. Thank you.
And I can tell you for further clarification that no council, I mean, I've not seen a council member be more stern with a developer than I have with Harvard Westlake, asking them and basically telling them, he wants certain things out of this or it's not getting past him. And if it doesn't get past him, it's not going to happen. So I really feel Krikorian, in terms of the Harvard Westlake development, has really drawn the line with them. And we'll see if that line holds. But so far, what he said to them, and he also has a more recent letter. I mean, I'm talking about things he said a couple of years ago, but he's now got another letter that he has sent them basically saying they need to look at all impacts, even those that are less than significant or no impact. So he's asking them to review everything in the DEIR And he sent that letter out Friday, I believe. And as to sportsmen's, I think the council office considers it passed. That's their opinion. But what's gone on there in terms of what's being built was passed a couple years ago or more. So I think that's why they maybe haven't gotten involved with that. So hopefully that maybe answers questions for the two entities you were asking about.
Additional comment from me, Barry?
Yes.
For general fund of knowledge, both government affairs, more than a few years ago, weighed in on the blowers, and so has sustainability, because I was on both committees. And the problem we have is, like with so many other ordinances that get passed with all best intentions of the world, there's no enforcement.
Yes,
and there's
thank you.
no real mechanism for enforcement. And when I see city contractors working on city property out in front of my house with blowers, there's no, obviously the city's not requiring them to contract. And I see city employees with gas-powered blowers and stuff. So we have a fundamental problem with that. How it's going to be solved, I have no idea, but I thought I'd point that out.
One
Yes,
of the
and-
problems is the way the ordinance is written. Again, I was a judge in Van Nuys where these were brought up, and it says gas-powered blowers. Well, they come by, they said, well, this one is methanol or something else, basically, and the cop can't choose the difference, case gets dismissed. I saw a lot of
Okay.
these go by.
So it's
Then Mr. Mandel has a good point, and maybe we should weigh in on rewriting it.
combustible fuel.
Or internal combustion engine.
Okay.
I got to start somewhere.
All right. Internal combustion engine. Hold on one second. I think Randy is calling me. Agenda. All right. Sorry about that. Scott, can I unmute you again?
Sure, I'm here.
Yeah, so I don't know, you probably didn't know our past history with this, but probably for 15 years we've been commenting on this, and the gas blowers. So what you're saying is what Richard Niederberg and Richard Adams were saying is that we should get Krikorian to get the ordinance redone and changed it to internal combustion engines?
Correct. That's what I was told by two city prosecutors I spoke to. Also what Richard, the judge also said, yes, people would say it's methanol, whether it was or wasn't, and it made the ordinance unenforceable. And anyone who's been near one of these environmental atrocities, you don't have to be a tree hugger to not like the sound and smell of 2,000 miles of a truck driving from Texas to Alaska in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
You're talking to somebody who actively uses an electric blower, extension cord, long extension cord and all. Anyway,
I hear you. I hear you. Anything you could do to clarify the verbiage. I'm also involved with other groups trying to get the city to enforce it. It's obviously not job number one, but Gavin did say the state's on fire, and if you don't believe in climate change, come to California. So let's try to get people to put their money where their mouth is. I won't take up much.
That's okay.
I've got a battery-operated blower. It works great. And if Gavin wants to stop the fires, he can start by good forestry management and controlled burns in the spring, but that's the end of that discussion.
I'm just curious, Scott, who would you propose be the enforcement agency?
Well, right now, you call, let's see, I have the, you call Ask LAPD, and then they transfer you, and the person who you report, they'll send out an inspector, and they will get a letter. They just won't get a fine. It says LAPD is the primary enforcement responsibility for this ordinance. Contact LAPD at 1-800-ASK-LAPD. And it's a LAMC section 112.04.
But then that operator takes your info, or do they transfer you to someone else?
They transfer me, and then someone else takes the info. And there's actually been inspectors on our street who have spoken to they talk to the resident now, the property owner or the property resident, not the gardener. So they try to do it that way. At least on my street, that's what happens.
Yeah, but
we might want to explore the idea of changing the enforcement mechanism, because I've called the non-emergency number at LAPD and been on hold 15, 20 minutes or longer. And by then the mow, blow, and go people are gone.
Well, and LAPD doesn't want to do it anyway, and I suspect
I don't blame them.
Coming out is that secondary operator. You get somebody that's attached to that secondary operator that you get. So, yeah, we'll find out.
That part of the ordinance needs to be reworked as well. And I don't know, maybe if you've got video evidence of them being used, it's admissible. That's up to the city attorney's office, and I don't know who else. But we need to help craft an ordinance that is workable and enforceable. And obviously what we have now don't work.
The other thing any of you might want to Google is LA City ACE, ACE in capital letters, program, ACE program. It's administrative code enforcement. And it started back in 2014, and it's gotten off to a slow start, but they were trying to do all the enforcement for all the little things like barking dogs and everything else. And it hasn't been done with the gas blowers yet. It's still going through LAPD. So it may be something for ACE that we can look into as well. So we'll
collect the data and agendize it.
Yeah. All right. Any other public comments? Okay. I'm not seeing any hands raised. So we will go on to number 5. Discussion and possible motion with respect to requiring businesses that are required to have restrooms under Los Angeles Building and Safety Code or codes to keep those restrooms open when the business is open.
Could you clarify what you mean by that, Mr. Chair?
Yes. So what I mean, and I think I maybe clarified it a little further in the motion that I sent out to you a little while ago, proposed motion.
I missed that. Why don't you read the motion?
Okay, yeah. In fact, I can read you that. Maybe. Okay, it says, the board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council requests Councilmember Krikorian to make a motion to require businesses that are required to have restrooms under Los Angeles Building and Safety Code or codes to keep those restrooms open when the indoor portion of a business is open. So I guess what I'm getting at here is, and many of you know that I work out of a van, and I cannot tell you in the last 8 months how many places I walk into and am going to buy something and their restroom is like taped off, yet they're allowing me in to buy something. So, I mean, I don't have a problem if they want to have a sign on the door that you can't use it unless you buy something. That's fine. That's part of business. But if they're open and selling me something, they need to let me use their restroom, and not just because they are too lazy to clean it right now. So that's where this motion is coming from. And I think I've just heard the Orange County supervisors are looking into this. It's a problem, obviously, all over California because we have a lot more closures than a lot of other states. So, and I get that. I'm just saying, if they're selling me something in their building and building and safety said they needed to have that restroom to be open in the first place, then they can't close it down now. Now, if it's a drive-through and they close off their interior business, fine. I don't expect to get in and use their restroom. So, I don't know. Any comments?
As somebody with ulcerative colitis, I get exactly where you're coming from. When I need a bathroom, I need one immediately. And I'm over my lifetime quota of public embarrassment. But at the same time, if it's just anybody and everybody can come in, and I'm not sure they're able to restrict it to customers only because some do-gooder will sue, then you have the free-range vagrants coming in, and I've witnessed many times them trashing the bathrooms at Vaughn's and other places. And as somebody who spent 21 years in uniform, I can tell you just how nasty bathrooms that people don't have to clean themselves can get real fast. So I kind of feel for where the business is coming from, but trust me when I tell you, I totally feel where you're coming from too. I'm just not sure how to split this here.
I just thought of an amendment that will perhaps solve this problem, because the LA Building and Safety Code says a certain thing, and it's not to have restrooms for the general public. So what if the motion said the board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council requests Councilmember Krikorian to make a motion to require businesses that are required to have restrooms for customers, because that's really what the Building and Safety Code does. I just didn't put that.
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, they have to, the employees have to have a place to go.
Right. Well, but a lot of times they have their own.
Okay.
For customers, comma, under Los Angeles Building and Safety Codes, comma, to keep those restrooms open when the indoor portion of the business is open. So I think that helps clarify that we're talking about customers, not somebody off the street who just wants to come in and use it as a public restroom. And again, the Building and Safety Code is not calling it a public restroom either. It's calling it a restroom for customers. And it's only based on a certain seat count in the city of LA. You'll notice that like subways that don't have many seats don't have public restrooms, but bigger places like McDonald's, more seating, and I can't quote you the cutoff point, but with more seats, restrooms for customers are required. So
I don't try to phrase them. Say again?
Adding for customers help?
To have restrooms for customers under, that makes sense. I'm not sure what the legality of it is going to be, but that's echelons above our reality.
If we even get called to submit this motion, you can bet once they vote on it, it's going to go to the city attorney before it ever became a motion.
I understand that.
An ordinance. So, yeah, this is just barely getting the ball rolling. So, anybody, any comments?
I second the motion.
All right. Second.
As amended.
Richard.
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you. As Richard. Okay. Thank you. All right, and all in favor that I can see, raise your hand.
Whoever was talking last, I couldn't hear you.
Oh yeah, so I vote for this. Do you, Richard?
A or N?
Richard Adams.
Yes.
Richard Niederberg.
Yes.
Susan? Yes, I heard you say yes. Nod your head if that was correct, Susan. Yeah,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Jeff Carter?
Aye, yes.
Okay. And that's all, everyone.
It's a
Okay.
universal need. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes. You know, us putting, our board putting this motion forward doesn't by any means make it law. And like I was saying, it's definitely, something like this would go to the city attorney.
Yeah.
Item
Well,
number
and
6. Yeah.
the disgust of waste, human waste on the street is just foul.
Yes, yes. And I noticed today that the porta potty and hand washing station is back on Moore Park under the 101. It had been gone a while.
Thereby
Still, I
thrilling the
think
neighbors.
it's more than 10. Yeah. Okay, I'll move on to number 6. Not seeing any more hands raised at the moment. And number 6 was actually voted on by City Council today. It is going to,
Mayor's office.
to the mayor's office, who I can't imagine the mayor not signing off with this. So I was originally told this wouldn't get to City Council till early December. So I put it on the agenda. But so we don't have a chance to really comment on it, but it did pass. I think it's good. It helps potentially save some trees, and also sidewalks that are broken up by trees that are actually on the owner's property. It requires them to fix the city sidewalk, not city trees in the parkway. It's not requiring those trees that break up sidewalks to have owners fix them. So we won't be doing a motion on that.
The technical term in circles I've moved in over the years is overtaken by events, or OTBE. Oscar Tango Bravo Echo.
Well, I guess we can just be thankful that we're still under the sidewalk program, supposedly over the next few years, and it may be longer because of the budget crisis. But all the broken sidewalks are supposed to be fixed. And then once they fix them, then it's every owner's responsibility after they give it the one-time fix for everybody. So we'll see what happens with that.
Are we going to vote on
And
this?
that's why I'm very glad there's no sidewalk in front of my house.
Yeah.
Are we going to vote on this anyway?
Go ahead. No, because it's too late to send in a community impact statement because they've already passed it.
Okay. Well, can I make a comment?
Yes.
I dissent from your view of the ordinance. I think it's flawed in many, many ways. And as written, I would, if we did vote on it, I would vote to oppose it as written. But we're not going to go into the details.
No, that's okay. But
Okay.
we have some time. I'm curious to hear your reason.
Well, I don't think it's worth the time if we're not going to vote on it.
Okay.
I mean,
Jeff, your opinions are always valuable to me. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
well, thanks, but
I'm just guessing you might oppose it because you don't want the property owner to have to with their property's tree to fix it, or?
I think that there are taking issues, there are appeal issues. The board has the final say. All sorts of things. The deadlines. It's very authoritarian, and I could go on, but I don't want to prolong this meeting. Everybody's exhausted, and But at any rate, if we were going to vote on it, I underlined things in my copy of it, which I printed out duly as a good member. But I'll leave it at that. Okay.
All right, and I thank you. And it just sometimes by the time when we put things on the agenda, it's not scheduled, and we think we have time to chime in.
I understand.
Yeah, and I did, by the way, if you go on the council file for this, there were some other neighborhood councils that had chimed in slightly earlier than us and got in on it. But I didn't actually, I don't know if any of them were against.
Well, this has been, let me see.
It's been
Council
going
File
on
14.
since
Yeah, it's been going on
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were going to weigh in on it. Should have happened a while back, but that's what happens when you have a government affairs chair that isn't interested in real government affairs. And I will say no more.
I move that we move on to the next item.
Second.
Okay. All right. Item number 7. Comments from committee members on subject matter within the committee's jurisdiction. Does anyone have any comments?
I got nothing.
No.
Okay. Nobody's raising their hand. I'm going to give, since we're early, I'm just going to give our 2 members of the public, Peter or Scott. Is there anything else you want to bring to the committee's attention this evening, either of you? Okay. Go ahead, Scott.
No, thank you. Just I was
Okay.
happy to hear what y'all said about the gas-powered leaf blowers. And I'll be sending you
Okay.
some email correspondence about what I'm doing as well on that topic.
I suggest you send it to governmentaffairs@studiocitync.org so we all see it.
Okay.
Please
Great.
and thank you.
And I just wanted to say on my comment about the transparency, it wasn't necessarily directed at anything that Krikorian might do that's sinister. It's
Okay.
anything Krikorian may have said, good or bad, outside of the public view, which is the spirit of the motion he's behind, whether it be Harvard or Sportsman's. The new rules to avoid corruption is that they are not to have any communications outside of the public. It was just more of a question of, by the way, is there anything about Harvard or Sportsman's, even though some of this goes back for years, that you may want to bring us all up to date on? And it could all be just glowing performance by Krikorian looking out for our interests that we may not be aware of. I wasn't necessarily saying all non-public correspondence is sinister. I was just saying that while those projects are still going, he may just, want to, for lack of a better word, come clean and say, if this was in effect, I probably should have told you about cocktails at Jerry's Deli, where I said under no circumstances are you're going to do this over my dead body, and so, or some, whatever it was he did or didn't do. That's all.
And just, I'll get to you 1 second, Jeff. Jeff, let me just say the letter that he wrote on Friday is now in the public file for the woman with planning who's doing the Harvard Westlake NOP. I'm forgetting her name, but it's the one we all sent stuff to. So if you want to see Krikorian's letter, you can request it from her because it is part of her public file.
Thank you.
Yes, Jeff.
When you talk about the quote Harvard Westlake project, are you talking about the Weddington
Yes.
place? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I would be against any change to that property at all. For the
Okay.
record, I've said that for years.
Yeah. All right. Anybody
And
else?
I've got a general comment.
Go
This
ahead.
was from an officer I served under in the Army. Won't make any reference to anything, but man was an infantryman just like me. You owe no loyalty to any institution or individual that obtains or maintains power by fraud. Nothing follows.
Okay. Thanks. All right. Number 8, closing comments. I was just going to mention that I'm not positive if all the committees or the board is having a meeting in December. Many years we have not. I think there will be a poll to the board members by the president if we are going to have one in December. So I'm going to wait and see for that. If there is no board meeting in December, we may wait to have our meeting the first week in January because we couldn't get anything before the board until mid-January then anyway. But I think many of the board members and committee members this year are ready for a break, and we have had those breaks many years in the past. So we'll see what happens, and I'll let you all know.
2 points on that, Barry.
Yep, go ahead.
One, if we have some pressing time-sensitive issue, that should be a consideration. Second of all, the board meeting and the committee meetings are at the mercy of the various religious holidays of the time frame.
Right,
But
right.
as a board member, if there's some pressing issue for this committee or any other committee, I will make the time to be at the meeting.
Well, and if we find out something,
Like I
once
said,
we're in December, we
very
can
important and
always
very
have a special meeting.
important and time sensitive
Yeah,
would be my
yeah.
two criteria. I would make time,
Right, right.
and I
So-
can't speak for anybody else on the board, but that's where I'm coming from.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Sure.
Okay, from Susan. All right, we are adjourned, and thank you all for coming. And I will let you know what's happening for December.
When we get there.
Hopefully by Thanksgiving.
Thank you
No
again,
problem.
Barry, for setting all this up and all the work.
All
that
right,
you
thank
do.
you. All
Hey,
right.
Jeff,
Very much.
before you go,
Bye.
is your
Don't ask me
1770
anything other
No,
than about the committee.
is your 1775?
I'm
emailed one to you.
What?
Why don't you email me tonight or tomorrow morning with whatever email address you're using so I can get back to you on some personal stuff?
I will try to do that. Okay. I've got-
At your convenience. None of it is pressing.
Okay, we're friends. But
And that's all we're going to talk about is non-political, non-neighborhood council shit.
okay. I will do it as fast as I can. Okay.
At your convenience.
Okay. There's no emergency then.
No. Just
Okay.
updates on what's going on in our
Well,
private life.
every lawyer wants, it's my lawyer brain says, always ask if there's an emergency. And if there's
If there was
not,
an
then-
emergency, I'd already tried to reach you.
then I can sleep tonight. But let's not get into that. Okay. We're
Yeah.
adjourned, right?
Yes, thank you.
I love you
Thank
all.
you, everyone. Bye.
You'll get over it. Everybody else in my life does.